Happy Friday and welcome to Thank Goodness It's Fertility Friday. And today we're going to be talking about our advanced fertility test worth the money. So I'm Dr. Carmel, and every Friday I come here to share with you about a topic that's related to fertility and pregnancy optimization. Now, if you know me even a little bit, you'll know that what I'm out to do is I'm out to reverse this really concerning trend of increasing and rising levels of chronic diseases in children. I actually started out my career taking care of kids. Then I realized you have to impact their birth and the pregnancy in order um, to have healthy kids. And then after years of working with pregnant moms, I realized you really got to take care of mom and dad before you ever get pregnant. Once you're pregnant, there's so much we can't do. It's like we've tied our hands behind our backs because there's so little that we can do at that point. Not nothing, but there's little that we can do to improve your outcomes at that point. So now, for the last several years, I've been dedicating my work to helping couples get pregnant, stay pregnant, and have healthy kids. So now I know we got to start as early as possible to achieve optimal wellness so children inherit good health. That's a great inheritance, isn't it? I think it's the best kind of inheritance there is, actually. So, how do we know if we have good health? Can we measure it by how we feel? Well, I feel good, so I must be healthy. Not so much. Now, sometimes you may not feel good, right? And you say, like, I don't think I really have good health. And sometimes not. So, we can't use how we feel as a measure of the level of health that we have. The other thing is we can guess. We can guess, and then we can take on a bunch of expensive and really, excuse me, invasive treatments or not. Excuse me. One round of IVF in the US today averages $18,000, and it only has a 50% success rate. Boy, I need some, hold on just a moment. Okay. Only a 50% pregnancy success rate. That's not the birth rate. And there's no guarantee that your child is going to be healthy. And certainly not you. On the other hand, if you want to be smart and only do treatments that are needed for you to help you achieve a healthy child, a healthy pregnancy, then the way to go is functional testing. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So for a fraction of the price of IVF and all the testing that's related to it, which we aren't even really certain that everyone who does that actually really needs that. In fact, I'm certain that everyone who does that does not need it. But you can get information about why you aren't able to get pregnant, sustain your pregnancy, and have healthy children for a fraction of the price of one round of IVF. And keep in mind, most people do go through more than one round of IVF, so that really adds up. So today I'm going to share with you 3 advanced tests that I commonly use. These are not the only ones, but these are the ones that I commonly use to help couples that really make a world of difference for them. These 3 tests that I'm going to talk about today briefly are microbiome testing, toxin panels, and genetic testing. So let's start with genetic testing. This is not your standard genetic test for ruling out if you're a carrier and you and your partner are carriers for certain diseases. Rather, these look at genetic variants which may impact your ability to get and stay pregnant. These are risk factors for your health, your pregnancy, the health of your pregnancy, and your future child's health. With the results of this test, you can actually, it's all actionable. This is why I love it. And I get so excited about this genetic testing is that you can make customized changes to your lifestyle based on your genes. And then we can change the outcome. We can reduce your risk levels for developing all kinds of things like gestational diabetes, gestational hypertension, and many, many more conditions related to inflammation, detoxification, methylation. So let me tell you about one gal. She found out that she had many variants for genes that impact our inflammatory levels in our body. And so she already has this going in, and she was having miscarriage after miscarriage. And we found out that this was actually this combined with her current lifestyle was the primary barrier for her staying pregnant. She would get pregnant and then pregnancy loss. So when we adjusted her diet and other lifestyle factors, it reduced her inflammatory levels and she was able to carry her baby to term and is now enjoying that sweet baby boy. Toxin panels can test for the presence of chemicals, heavy metals, and biological toxins. Not just mold, but definitely mold. And mold accumulation in the body is almost always a game stopper for pregnancy. And certainly, even if one is exposed to mold and they're able to carry the pregnancy, you're setting this kid up with a weaker foundation for their health. So one of the most important concepts for addressing mold or any toxins is knowing which ones we're dealing with, figuring out where the exposure is. Are you getting exposed at home, in the office, in the car? Where is this happening? And then creating strategies to avoid further exposure. Then we can start to help the body to safely release these toxins. And we must do this before pregnancy. There is no detoxing during pregnancy. Yes, every day the body has its natural detoxification processes, but we're not going to accelerate or increase that. Never, never during pregnancy, because we don't want that to impact the health of the pregnancy. So we do that before. So finally, the third one I want to talk to you about is the microbiome testing. Now, you've probably heard that your gut health impacts so many areas of your health, probably every part of your health. We are discovering now that there's a connection to the microbiome. Now, keep in mind, it's not just the gut when we speak about the microbiome health. There's a specific and unique microbiome everywhere in the body, actually. We used to think that our womb was sterile. Now we know, no, there is a microbiome there. And the microbiome is just the collection of all the microbes that live on and inside of us. And most of them are living with us in harmony and even promote good health for us. There's only a small portion that are pathogenic. But like many other things in life, it's the minority that are nasty that get all the attention, right? So when we think about fertility, we're specifically looking at, yes, the gut, but also the vaginal microbiome and the oral microbiome. So we really want to know about your dental health. Do you have any hidden or underlying infections or imbalances? Sometimes you can have the right microbes there, but they're not quite in the right balance. So tweaking that can make a huge difference. And if we don't, we're going to have difficulties conceiving and maintaining a healthy pregnancy. Now, here's the deal. Research has shown us that both guys and gals, right? Gals and you guys, your microbiome health is impacting the health of your children. So here's how that works. There's one study published in a journal called Cell Reports in 2019. It found that changes in the male microbiome were associated with changes in sperm quality. Another study in 2020 demonstrated that the um, dad's diet, which was inducing a type of diet that was causing obesity, right? So the guys being overweight or obese, changed the gut microbiome composition. Okay, so the diet impacts how the microbiome is balanced or imbalanced, and then in turn, it affects their offspring. Now, these studies were in mice, just so you know, in case you had that question, like how were they able to do that with humans? So, women directly impact the microbiome health at birth. As the baby exits the birth canal, they're exposed to a whole host of microbes, and they're entering that baby's mouth, nose, all the areas where they can be exposed, right? And then once that baby's born and they place that baby right on your chest, skin to skin. Why do we say skin to skin? Because then the baby skin gets mom's microbes. Or maybe if mom is a little busy, finishing up the birth, then have the baby lay on dad's skin again to get mom and dad's microbiome. So wouldn't it make sense to have our microbiome be really something fantastic and balanced to pass on as an inheritance to your children? In fact, and then the third step is when babies get their microbiome, their inheritance is through breastfeeding. So we know that babies who miss one or more of these steps in microbial inheritance are at greater risk for chronic diseases. So if there's an issue with either of you, we want to know now before you get pregnant so we can improve and optimize your inheritance gift for your precious babies. Now, here's the deal with all of these, you can potentially save thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, in avoiding your kid having chronic disease. I mean, besides the fact, like, how sad is it to watch your child suffer, right? But then there's the financial burden of it all. There are statistics that talk about the cost of raising a child that does not have chronic health diseases versus the cost once they do have chronic health issues. It's astronomical. So from this perspective, when we look at the cost of functional testing, it's actually very cheap. A few $100s here, a few $100s there. I don't know, a couple $1,000. Nothing compared to the data that it gives us, the value that it has. It's actually inexpensive when we look at it from this perspective. So there you have it. So if you're out there and you'd like to explore your health, discover what tests would make a difference for you and your partner and your future family, you can sign up for a fertility optimization session with me, and we can take a deep dive into your particular history and your health and of both of you. And we can create a customized plan. Look for the link in the comments below, click on it, and I look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions or any comments, please comment below. Have a happy Friday and TGIFF. Thank goodness it's Fertility Friday. And it won't let me end. I guess this software wants me to stay on with you today. Let's try again.